Welcome back to Daytime Live. An 18-year-old 7Yr man has been detained by police in relation to the abduction and rape of a 7-year-old girl in the parish on Tuesday who was on her way to school. A bag was reportedly put over her head and she was taken into bushes where she was sexually and physically abused and then locked in an abandoned building. However, she managed to escape and went home.
Family members observed that her left eye had swelling. They questioned and took her to the Port Maria police station. Investigations led cops to the alleged abductor's home where he was found under a bed and taken into custody. Police later located the scene of the crime where the child's shoes, school bag and underwear were recovered. So the story starts, it's saying, St. Mary man. But man of them something you bypass these little urges no matter what. I mean, granted, yes, it is an 18-year-old, so it is conceivable that he is a child himself mentally. However, a 7-year-old is a baby. It's a baby, man. You can't. Well, I don't know. It's very difficult to speak about these things on public platforms and forums like this because what I really want to say, I can't say it because
Agreed.
It's heinous, you know?
I think that we are too complacent as a society with attacks on our children. Children are not to be harmed in any way, shape, or form. I'm somebody's mother and I'm a woman. And this, I saw a video that Terry Carell posted. That's all I will say about that, because there's no explanation for this. Yeah. There's none whatsoever.
None.
Our children are the future of our nation, they're the future of our society, and they're to be protected
100%.
At all costs.
And
you can imagine this is Mother's Day coming up.
Right.
What kind of present is this for this child's mother? And what is going to happen to this child now? What her mental capacity, her development, her growth, this is going to affect her for the rest of her life. There is absolutely no excuse for this kind of behavior.
But for both of them too, because you want to know now what is the repercussion, what is the punishment, how long will he be remanded, how long will he be imprisoned if it comes to that, you know. We assume it will come to that as well, we believe it should, but will that reform this youngster in any way, you know, or will it make it worse? Like, these things are things that we need for, if I understand. I mean, once upon a time, when them something, man, if a community find out you wouldn't hear about no police, I go for it, you know what I mean? You know, but I just disappear.
I also want to say, Craig, that our men, I know growing up, I'm a little bit older, I'm not going to tell you how old, right? But the men in society, I know that I don't know what's going on. Men used to be, to me, protectors, providers, that kind of thing. Like, how do you even allow something to happen? As you said, that would have been a community issue. No, I'm not advocating for jungle justice at all.
I get you.
Right? Because that's against our state and our laws and our rules. However, there has to be something done. This is too frequent, and I feel that they're too complacent. Our systems, we need to be more equipped. We need to have more resources for our police, for our court systems, that kind of thing, to manage situations like this. And mental health needs to be something. The discussion around this, the education campaign about this, needs to be increased. We're in Mental Health Month, and I know that in Jamaica, so many people are afraid to mention if they have mental health issues, if they have maladaptive behavior problems, that kind of thing, because there's going to be a stigma attached to that. People are going to view you differently. They're not going to take you seriously, whatever it is. But this affects everybody in society. The fabric of our society needs to be adjusted when we think it's okay for a 7-year-old girl to be raped and abused, and it's just going to be a part of the news cycle, and then what? Yeah,
and the thing is, you know, as you mentioned mental health, you have to think about that child's socialization, how that child grew up, the role models around that child. And I'm speaking about the accused, the 18-year-old. I'm not talking about the victim, because now she's going to need all of that kind of support, you know. But you wonder what kind of environment would have to be present to produce a person, a boy that would do something like this at a young age like that. You know, what would have happened if he wasn't found out at this point? You know, what kind of a man would he have grown into? You know, what other women might he have done this too? Like,
and we don't know because it never
know.
came out. But that's what I'm saying. Gentlemen, like, I love our Jamaican men. You know, I know that we get a bad rap and we hear that they're deadbeat dads and they're this and they're that. But if a Jamaican man loves you and him decide I'm going to take care of you, it's the most magnificent thing. But this kind of thing has to stop. It absolutely has to stop. As
well, what's happening is that we see an erosion in the mental fortitude of a man nowadays. Like we see a lot of weak spine man walking up and down the place, and you know, these things are giving rise to incidents like this. You know,
I want to say something. I think it's gonna maybe get some backlash for this, but you know, ladies, it's very hard to be a man. I have a lot of friends that express this to me. Why are you laughing? It's a real thing, right? And I hear some things that happen in relationships with women and men, and what the trauma that the men have to go through, and they transfer this from relationship to relationship. And you mustn't express yourself because you're a man, and you must have feelings because you're a man, and you can't give rise to your emotions because you're a man. Men really go through it. I'm not lying, it's hard to be a woman, but men really go through it. At least we're expected to be emotional to some extent, so it's okay when women are emotional. But the men really need the attention, they really need the help, they really need to know, Craig, that it's okay to express yourself.
Yeah. However, I believe that a lot of these things must be done in a group type setting. I believe that a lot of these things must be done within the gender. I think that I have noticed that there's a lot of camaraderie that is missing. A lot of brethren and brethren link up and just reason about the things that them go through. You know, you might have some younger ones there and some older ones there, so you can learn and you can teach at the same time. Like, these conversations need to be had among the kings in our society. Like, these are the things that need to be done, because a lot of them are losing themselves, and they don't even know or know why.
Within the framework of primary socialization, like as a baby, I know that boys are taught you can't express yourself, you can't be as emotional because are you a gal, are you a girl, essentially. So even if we foster those kind of discussions, Craig, are we gonna freely express ourselves as men? Because we're told from a very young age, you have to calm down, you can't cry, walk it off, you're a man, that kind of thing. So we have to adjust that as well.
What we also understand as men, though, is that, you know, it's not everybody you must express these things too. And you need to express these things to people who will understand and actually know how to help you.
And give you
sometimes, and everybody have to cry too.
Well, that's true. Generally, as a human being, that's true.
Precisely. Sometimes showing your vulnerability can actually open you up to a lot more deeper scars that can make you even worse. So you have to be very careful, you know?
So we have to have proper structures for that. Precisely. We have to have proper guidance. I'd love to see a lot more mentoring of men. I mean, there are resources for women, but not so much for the men. So make we reach out to the men. Let's reach out to our young boys and let them know it's okay to express yourself and talk. Because when they bottle these things up, it's a problem.
And also, let's also reach out to our women. Mother's Day is coming up. Incidents like this are happening, and they're very serious, and this girl will need a lot of support. Yeah. On that note, Daytime Live will be right back, and we have a music video from Sly and Robbie when we come back. Big up, Robbie boy, it's your brother.